Welcome to CPG Vibes. No scripts,
just chat.
I'm Alex Baer.
And I'm Wade Yenny.
Each episode is recorded live, and we talk all things food and beverage, and so much more.
Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review.
If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com.
Now, let's vibe.
All right, welcome to episode 176 of CPG Vibes. This is our third edition, third edition of the Random Babble series. We had to, for those that notice and are avid fans of CPG Vibes, we did have a scheduled interview today, and that got rescheduled for sometime later in the summer or early fall because of a scheduling conflict. And so here we are. We have pivoted it. We like to pivot, Wade. We always do that. And this is our Random Babble series. And we didn't even get to promote this because the rescheduling happened just a couple days before the show. So we are actually happy that we have people on here commenting. They found the new link. We have a really strong community behind us. So all good stuff. Wade, how's it going, buddy?
Doing good. How was last week? I didn't even get a chance to listen last week. Did you have a good time? Was it good?
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I said in the very beginning of the interview, I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm going to have these guys talk, share their wisdom, just dump anything and everything they can into the show. And it was very successful. It was a lot of fun. And obviously, Mike Fata, a returning guy that's been with the show, been on the show many, many, many times. Jeff Lichtenstein of Next and Natural. He is just a fountain of knowledge and quotes. He had a lot of quotes during the show. And that was actually, he said this himself, his Virgin podcast.
Nice.
So it's the very first one he's ever been on, which I find is fascinating because he's been in business for 25 years. He was in business for like almost 25 years with his distribution company. He sold to Unify, and then he started Next and Natural, and he still just never made his way to a podcast. I guess he's more of a
better late than never.
Better late than never. I guess he's a private guy, and finally we got him out in the open. And then we had Michael Bush of Growthway Partners, and he was also awesome. So a good, eclectic mix, successful, but there was one big man missing, and boy, we missed you. So hope you had a good time off.
I was actually in the DC area and got to see the Pixies and Kurt Vile
I love
live in concert in Washington DC area, and got to take advantage of one of my credit card perks for a free night at the Waldorf Astoria.
Wow, that's a major hotel. Like,
well, it was free. I want to make sure that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
It was 100% free, or I would not have been staying at the Waldorf. But
sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
That's got to run again. I know it's free.
Yeah,
but it's got to run. If it wasn't free, it probably runs well over $1,000 a night. Right?
It depends on it. You know how they fluctuate things. But what's funny about that particular card is that's the only reason I have it is to utilize it once a year. You get to be extravagant. And we used it not as extravagant last year, but one time we used it. Gosh, somewhere in Beverly Hills, at some ridiculous. I can't think of what the hotel was. I have to look it up. It'll drive me crazy. But again, same thing. And that one was absolutely well over $1,000. And the whole rooftop BS and robes and slippers and all that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But
everything.
Yeah. Not my usual Hampton Inn or Hilton Garden Inn or what have you. But it was a good time. The Pixies were awesome.
Awesome. I mean, as far as economical hotels, I'm a big fan of the Hojos. Ever been at a Hojo?
Oh, they're still, every once in a while we'll see some.
Yeah,
they're still around. But yeah, as a kid in the early 80s, I remember going to those.
Yeah, the Howard Johnson hotels. I remember when I was traveling a lot, doing demos for Genius Juice, expanding in new regions of the country. There would be a Hojo in the Midwest or wherever I turned, at least out there. And very economical, pretty nice. So, but this is not hotel vibes here. Like, we're not going to talk about all the hotel options and credit card options out there. This is a CPG centric show, and we have a couple big announcements to make. The first huge announcement.
A couple.
Couple.
Oh, by the
Couple.
way, it was also the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills.
That's what I figured.
I
I'm
had to
like,
check.
what
I had to
else could
check.
it be?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one is definitely, I mean, I've been there for
Ridiculous.
meetings
It's
and
ridiculous.
just standing there, I felt like it was expensive. I'm like, do I have to pay money just to stand here in the lobby, at $20 every minute or something like that? So that area, people are so rich that they don't even want to take the time. If they found $100 bill on the ground, they wouldn't take the time to pick it up. That's how ridiculous it is out there. So anyway, with all that said, the congratulations on your hotel stay. May it be better than the rest of ours. So the big announcement for our show is that we have a new premier ongoing sponsor. And I really like these guys and gals. So Creative Kaiju, we used them for years. We were partners with them for years under Genius Juice. They are a premier design agency. And I think Wade, you remember these guys.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. They were on
what's
the
amazing,
show. I think they were on the show once, right?
and Dean, yeah, Dean Carmichael, the CEO, was on our show for some of the sponsorships and also as a guest. And he just likes us so much. We like him so much. We're like, let's just make this official. Let's get quote unquote married and let's have an ongoing sponsorship. And what they do is they are an unlimited graphic design agency. Let me know if I'm cutting out. I see my internet always seems to cut out on the show. So ironic here. And you submit graphics. They have graphic professionals, a group of them, and they will do different graphics, any size you want, any shape you want. They do animated GIFs, they do short videos, but primarily high-end graphics. So instead of hiring, an in-house graphic designer for several thousand a month, you get unlimited graphics from people on his team, and they are excellent. And Genius Dreams, my consulting agency for crowdfunding, we utilize them all the time for our clients. And we work with them. We've hired them to do the graphics for our clients. So they're excellent. I think any small to mid-size CPG brand that wants to save money and not have to spend it in-house and have to pay insurance and taxes and all this stuff, you can outsource and hire a great design team, Creative Kaiju.
Nice.
And if you go to their website, there's going to be a link next week. But for now, and Wade, if you can help me and put this in the chat, Creative Kaiju, Creative, and then Kaiju, it's all one word, KAIJU.com. And then when you sign up, you put us into the referral box, and there's also some kind of discount in the first month, I believe, by signing up through CPG Vibes. There's a trial thing as well. I'm going to talk to Dean and see exactly what he wants to offer to new clients, but it's going to be sweet, and you can try it out. It's an entire interface where you can submit graphics. So anyway, I'm spending a little more time on it this week, only because they're new and it's a new announcement and it's a new partnership. Here's the official thing about what they do, and then I won't ramble on too much. But if you run a CPG brand and need design help, Creative Kaiju might be exactly what you're looking for. It's like having your own design team, but without the cost of hiring in-house. For one flat monthly fee, you can request as many designs as you need: packaging design, pitch decks, social posts, whatever. No contracts, no hidden fees, just fast, reliable design made for growing CPG brands. Their entry-level plan is at $9.99, Wade, which is so damn affordable. Like, that's ridiculously affordable to have a team of designers. Again, if you hire someone in-house, they're typically charging $50 to $100 an hour, maybe, Wade, maybe more if they're from the US, for professional design of this level that Creative Kaiju does. And they're doing for, so like maybe you'll get 10 hours to 15 hours a month from a freelancer or someone in-house, I should say. With them, it's unlimited. They turn around the graphics within 24 to 48 hours, which is huge as well, and unlimited revisions on top of all that. So $9.99 is their entry level plan, which is the one that we're on. They have a secondary, kind of the buff, all out plan, which is $18.99. So definitely go to creativekaiju.com. We'll display it here on the screen, and put CPG Vibes in the field for referral, and you'll get some goodies in the first month. So that is our premier sponsor.
Right on. Well, we got a lot of people with us. We've got just naming names. Hopefully, I don't miss anybody.
A lot of comments.
Gavin, Jeff, Kenny, Richard, Melissa,
Woo!
Who did I miss? I thought there was someone else here that I saw, but thank you everybody for joining. We're approaching 200 episodes real quick.
Yeah, no, it's happening quick.
Yeah.
It's happening quick. And again, I think we're both just blown away that we barely even promoted this show. It was like one day, I think a day before, 10 hours before, I couldn't even send invites out. Typically, I send invites to 1,000 people on LinkedIn, and we still have, I think, almost 15 people with us right now, like live.
Right.
And then we'll have several more listening after the fact. So thank you to the community. We love you guys.
And Sarah's here. Hey, Sarah.
Sarah, Senator Delaney?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I wonder how's Cirilla? How's that going? Let us know.
I was going to say, yeah, put some stuff in the comments if you want us to. We literally have no topics, obviously no guests. So if there's something you'd like us to touch on, we'll figure it out on our own. But if there's something you'd like us to talk about, something new in your world that you just put it in the chat and we'll touch on it. Go from there.
Awesome. Sarah in the house. How come I'm not seeing her comment here?
I saw it. I have my screen.
Oh, it's
here.
on
I saw it
LinkedIn.
I saw it on the LinkedIn feed, but
You're
I don't
right,
see it
but
on
it's
this
not
feed.
coming in on CPG Vibes.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, I saw a post. God, what's his name? It's the guy that's doing Lemanuka, the kid.
Yes.
Have you seen that kid? He's with Josh Wan. I think he's Josh Wan's son or relative or something.
I know you're talking about.
What's his name again?
I feel like his name is it Sean? Does that sound right? Sean Rosenberg.
Rosenberg. I remember he has a Jewish name. So this guy, Sean Rosenberg, look him up on LinkedIn. He is creating he's 15, I think.
He's young. I know he's very young.
14, 15. Definitely still in high school. And he went to the Beverage Forum and he did the pitch slam, the pitch contest.
Is that right?
Yeah. And he very well spoken, a lot of energy. He actually speaks better than me. I mean, better than both of us combined, I think. He's got that young vigor and energy. And he is coming out with a new product, which is called Lemanuka, which is, I guess, lemonade with Manuka, honey, your favorite, right?
Look at that.
Honey,
He's
Hunni.
soon to be renamed Honey. Is that Jeff? That might be a newsflash there. I have not seen that or heard that, but Jeff might have just dropped that on us.
You heard it here first on
there
CPG Vibes. Yeah, because
breaking news. We need a scroller. Breaking news.
Yeah, and like the music. So, yeah. So anyway, I saw his post that they are working on a new formulation with Drink Labs, which is like
I'm looking at that now. Yeah, so he's going to be using organic honey, Manuka honey, as a matter of fact. So that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's going to be hitting the shelves probably later this year, maybe in some independents. He is in Los Angeles because related to Josh Wan. Josh is in Los Angeles. I don't know. I can't remember the relation, if it's father, son, or cousin, or nephew or something. But either way, it's really exciting to see that. And here's a comment. Wade, want to rattle it off?
Sure, I'd love to. Cirilla's good, growing, and had an interesting experience with Sprouts Innovation. How many of you have done that? Working on Central Market in Rayleigh's NorCal now. Excited to host September CPG Vibes in Asheville next month. Headed on my first international vacay next week since starting my company. Wow,
nice.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We'll let anybody that wants to chime in on that there. You'll have to tell us where you're headed, Sarah. Where you're headed internationally. But then this is something good to talk about, Alex. Did you see this?
No, tell me more. I didn't hear about this one.
Celsius High Noon. So they evidently the co-man that makes that makes that product, and they accidentally put one in the other, vice versa.
Oh,
so you
crap.
had Celsius and with alcohol in it. And I think that's what I'm not sure which. I don't know if both were impacted, like if there was High Noon with Celsius or Celsius with High Noon.
Flip-flop.
But yeah, that's wow. A nightmare, and
Jesus
Christ.
I
can't even imagine. Yeah, so there's as you can imagine, a pretty significant recall going on right now. But what a boo-boo that is. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
That's a huge one. Yeah, I want to research that more. That like it's no matter what, it's bad. But if you have an alcohol brand without alcohol in it, I think that's at least the lesser of the really bad, if that makes sense, versus a non-alc brand like Celsius that has alcohol in it.
Right.
I'm probably guessing this never made it to the shelf, right?
I'm pretty sure it did. It was, I want to say, I'll see if I can find the link. I want to say it was distributed in 5 states.
Holy crap! So
I could
people
be
just
wrong.
crack open a Celsius and then it's spiked, like
She said,
spiked
yes,
Celsius.
there it is. Sarah's Celsius cans filled with vodka in South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew there was. I couldn't remember if it was both, if they did both, or what. But I feel like it was more than Southern California, or I'm sorry, SoCal or South Carolina. I think. Let's see.
Someone
Where's
asleep
it
at the
at? Oh, here it
switch.
is. Here it is. Recalls exclusively for effective high noon beach variety. So they did obviously fill high noon as well, because they recalled high noon in Florida, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Virginia, and Wisconsin.
Wow.
And let's see, that's where it went to distributors, and distributors shipped to retailers in Florida, New York, Ohio, South Carolina, Virginia, and Wisconsin. And it was shipped just last week, at the 21st through the 23rd. And then I'm just trying to see, even if not purchased, I'm trying to see the Celsius, also advised to dispose of Celsius Astro Vibe.
Astro Vibe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that one has alcohol in it, basically.
I'm guessing. Yeah, it's so here. High Noon's recalling 2 production lots of High Noon Beach variety. Some of these packs contain cans that are filled with High Noon seltzer alcohol and are mislabeled as Celsius energy drink. So, okay, so they're opening
Oh.
up the High Noon. It shows the Celsius can, but it's got the
Mm.
booze in it. Yeah, what a mess.
So they
What?
basically just, I mean, I've worked with co-mans. You have the big label roll, right? You put it on the machine and it spins and then it sleeves, the sleever, right? That
Anybody
goes
wants
on
to
the can.
yeah, and anybody wants to see it, there's the link. That's straight from the FDA website.
Wow. That's
So,
crazy. That is
yeah.
crazy. Um, wow. I'm actually kind of speechless for the first time. Like that could actually happen at such a large co-packer with such large brands. But never underestimate human error, right?
Right.
Never when someone's, I guess
Mm,
someone didn't take their Celsius that morning when they were
wow.
sleeving these
Yeah.
cans. I mean, yeah, I've seen some mistakes in my day, but that's a pretty sizable one. What's also on the newsreel here is about the tariffs, right? I mean, August 1st. And I think, in a way, it's good that we're doing kind of a random Babble series because of all this news breaking. And no one can really ignore this news where a bunch of tariffs either went into effect today being August 1st, 2025. There was a country or two that got a 90-day pause or 90-day delay. I believe 90 days for Mexico, if I remember correctly. And but I'm looking at the full list here. I'm at theguardian.com, and then basically, and then I also was texting with Midday Squares, right, a Canadian brand
Mhm.
that makes the product in Canada, a chocolate square bar for everyone that knows that. I think on their show, everyone knows this product. And they're shipping it primarily to the United States. They have some sales in Canada, but I would say maybe 70-80% is in the US because of our buying power here in the United States. And Canada got slapped effective today with a 35%. This is in stone, like in stone now, I believe.
Mm.
Like this is not a negotiating tactic. This is in stone because Trump gave plenty of warning to these countries, tried to do negotiations. Some countries like Japan or unions like European Union came forward with a deal, as we saw in the news. But other countries, he just slapped them on, right? Maybe there was no deal or they didn't make the deal fast enough. But I look at it right here. There's a list. Canada, 35% tariff.
Mm.
So any Canadian brand, any Canadian company that is, or I'm sorry, or is someone importing it from Canada,
Right.
they're going to be paying a 35% tariff from the importer. And so basically a lot of Canadian goods, aluminum, lumber. There's, I think Ball has a major aluminum manufacturing facility up in Canada. There's also a co-packer in Canada called Yaya. Have you heard of these guys?
I've not. I've
They
not.
make, I don't want to say the brands, but let's just say they're making nut milk brands, a majority of them that are refrigerated nut milks, not shelf stable, but mostly refrigerated in natural stores and also conventional. They're making a shit ton of those. And now, there might be a price increase on those given that there's a tariff. So Brazil's 50%, Canada 35%, China 30%. This is going into the US. Mexico 25%, but it's could be renegotiated in 90 days. European, I keep on mispronouncing, European Union, I'll just say EU, 15%, Syria 41%, Laos 40%. This keeps going on and on. Those are the major countries that are shipping here to the U.S. So big news day as far as tariffs go.
Yeah, and there's it's unfortunate because there's so many ways to respond to that. And it says now, I'm on a different website. Most of the announced tariffs will not go in effect until August 7, except for tariffs on Canada, which take effect on August 1.
Got it.
So maybe they'll bounce back a little bit, but yeah, it's hard to, something of that significance, it's hard to be able to to react, right? I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, how do you react to I guess if you already have at a 25% tariff and you just tack on 10 more, just maybe it's not as
Only 10.
significant, but yeah, exactly.
Already paying through the nose. What's another 10%?
What's another 10% amongst friends? But there's some
exactly
good comments here. And we haven't really talked to, I mean, we did, I think last year, we haven't talked a lot about this. Derek asked about anybody going to Newtopia and is it worth it? Kenny says fresh time will be there, but not me personally. Gavin says they're issuing tariffs to all brands participating.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, are you going, Alex, or no?
As soon as someone gets me a badge.
Okay.
I mean, I am scheduled to go. I have a couple meetings there. I am doing a golf round with a colleague that's been wanting to get around with me for a long time, and he's been following up, and we've been talking. And so, but yes, long story short, I am going. I'm just looking for a brand that can get me a badge, and I'm more than happy to help at your booth if you do get me a badge. So please, this is my PSA: get me a badge, people. And how about you, Wade? Are you going?
I am not. Luke will be there. Actually, I will be in California during Newtopia. I'm going to be visiting my daughter, but Luke will be there.
Carlsbad?
Actually, I think we're staying in San Diego.
Okay.
Time, but I'm sure we'll end up in Carlsbad at some point.
Probably.
But Luke will be there from our team. Lucas will be there from our team. I think Brandon will be there as well. And we're doing a pitch slam event with Sprouts while we're there. So should be a pretty interesting show. I'm anxious to see what those of us tuning in right now, what their thoughts are. If anybody went last year, what their thoughts are. If you're going this year, any input, I'd love to see what your thoughts are with regards to Newtopia. Everyone talk Expo East, or I'm sorry, Expo West. Expo West is being the monster. The buzz isn't as significant. I mean, we're 3 weeks away. I think it's in 3 weeks. It's not as big for Newtopia, but I'm curious as to what the general consensus is for those that are listening right now. So
yeah, I think there's just a lot of distractions going on, and distractions not in a negative way, just things in the news, companies that are reeling or adjusting or pivoting based off. I mean, I keep going back to these tariffs, which thanks for correcting me on that it's August 7th, with the exception of, you said Canada, which is, and he has it out for Canada, Trump. So August 1st for Canada. But I did text with Midday Squares, and this is not private information. It's just public, because any food item, right? I think food and beverage, non-alcohol, I believe, at least right now, but I could be wrong, are not going to be subject to those tariffs.
Nice.
That's what I was told. And then I think Nick or Jake said something like, crossing our fingers, thank God, for now.
Right.
Because you can imagine that if there's a product that's $2.99 at retail and there's a 35% tariff on it.
Adding a dollar on, right?
Yeah. I mean, if not more, because as you know, like when you add it on to the root, it amplifies. Like it goes from the cost to the wholesale price to the retail price to the consumer. So it gets like doubled. It might even be at $4.99 for all we know. So it's crazy, but I'm glad that they dodged that bullet for now. But a lot of uncertainty. The market kind of got rattled this morning. It's down, I think, 500 or 600 points. There's two things I want to talk about here, Wade, now that we're kind of, and I know I think you have something you want to chat about too, but I will mention that the housing market, right? It's no script, just chat. I wish there was again, not to get too political, I really wish they did a Fed cut, a rate cut, but they did not. And I just feel it for a lot of, like, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that have pretty successful businesses, or they're growing, and they're living like in apartments right now because they just can't afford to get a home. And if you're in California, if you're in New York, if you're in, Seattle, areas that are kind of metro cities, I mean, the affordability rates are so low. I mean, I think the percentage of affordability is at the second lowest it's been in the last 30 years. From my realtor friend told me that. Not the lowest. The lowest was, I think, a year and a half ago or a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really wish they would just cut those fucking rates to really help people that are getting loans, business loans, people that are buying homes. Again, I'll get off my political soapbox. This isn't a Democrat or Republican thing. This is just, I think it's time the inflation rates are down to 2.3%. They were at 10 like 2 years ago. And eggs and everything was going crazy, right? Yeah, as you remember, being in the industry. But now it's down to 2.3%. Like, let's get some cuts in there. So anyway, if anyone has any thoughts on that, let me know.
There's Kenny. Kenny, I unfortunately not see a path to home right now.
Yeah.
Forget it. Even in New England, I think it was up there. Rich Monez, real estate agents have been counting on a deal being made to help our slumping housing market. Looks like the opposite is going to happen. So yeah, it's tough out there. It's tough.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, and I not to shift the topic, but I do want to touch on. I got to find it here. Sprouts released their quarterly results. I'm trying to see when this was released. It was just recently. It was for the quarter. It was just released 2 days ago, the 30th. Their quarter Q2 2025 for the quarter that ended June 29th. And this is something I'd be interested to see, any feedback from those listening. Comp store sales growth of 10.2%. Which is significant because that's, it's easy to have sales, an increase in sales when you're building new stores, but those are comp stores, meaning, 100 stores last year, 100 stores this year. Obviously, they're well over 400, actually 455 stores, 24 states as of June 29th, which is remarkable. But comp store sales over 10%, double digits. So that's pretty significant results, because when you factor in the inflation aspect of that, whatever it is, 2 to 3, whatever that number is, those are some remarkable results. So yeah, I don't know, is that business is coming from someone, because if they're up 10% in comp store, someone else's loot, not necessarily 10, but that business is coming from somewhere. So any thoughts as far as that goes?
Yeah, I mean, I think, generally Sprouts is doing they're doing the right things. They're like, the store formats are amazing. They are amazing. Like, it's fun to be in there. It's fun to shop around there. You can be in there for an hour and the time just flies by. Their supplement section is awesome. And there's a lot of cross shoppers that, go to Costco, go to Whole Foods, go to Trader Joe's. I think Whole Foods, Trader Joe's are probably the two biggest cross shoppers.
Right.
And they're heading over to Sprouts. Sprouts is also, you'll notice when you're here in California, if you haven't noticed already, they are opening up a lot of neighborhood stores here, like one in Long Beach, in not really a great area, not a bad area, but in an area you wouldn't expect one to open a few years back. Right. And they opened a brand new, just gleaming white building, Sprouts, that you cannot miss. And then also in West Covina, where I charge my Tesla when I'm out there, they have a Sprouts there. So very strategically placed. The formats, I like the size of them. I think Whole Foods lost some ground in the last few years, right? Just with different store formats, and like some are huge, some are small. There's some inconsistencies there. I think Sprouts has done a great job standardizing the format of the store. You go into a Sprouts, you know where to find everything. It's pretty standard unless it's a much older store. But even one of the early Sprouts opened in Torrance, right near me, right off of PCH. And even their store, they've remodeled it to be consistent with all the other stores. And then they have a lot of deals running as well. Like, there's always BOGO deals and like vitamin sales, supplement sales. Obviously, that's at the expense of the brand,
Right.
right? I mean, these deals, I mean, the bigger that you get, the more you can flex the deals, right?
Right.
The bigger you get where hey, we're in 455 stores in 24 states. You're telling the vendor the brand that you're like, if you want to be in our stores, you got to pay to play. And
Right.
it's kind of the Erewhon effect, right?
Right.
You have the leverage to press the brands to do certain specials and deals and be on an aggressive promotional schedule. And that's exactly what is happening at Sprouts, because you go in there and there's going to be some fucking things on sale. Like something you want is going to be on sale, or it's going to be a buy one get one free, or buy one get 50% off. And then also, I think their selection has gotten more diverse than other natural stores.
I agree with that.
And of course, with everything, the work you're doing at V Driven and Luke's doing at V Driven with Sprouts, they have their innovation program, which is also
Right.
a brilliant move that they did that to really kind of bring it back to the roots of what Whole Foods used to be with
Right.
that, where you can be a small brand. You go in for 3 months, you test it out, see if it works, and then there's no chargebacks. You just, no free fill, no chargebacks. I think that was a brilliant program to get some of these smaller brands that can't afford free fills or promotional plans through the door. And then if they test well, then they go into the normal set. So I think they've got it going on. That's
Yeah, and
my
I
that's
was
my
that's
conclusion.
well said, and I do want to at least address or talk a little bit about this comment from Derek about wondering how much of that is the 6% EDLC fees to brands and 2K's free fill requirements. Just to be clear, that's just sales. That's customer sales going out the front door. We're not talking about profit, which is where that would come into play, Derek. We're talking about net, sales coming in, customer sales, comp year over year. So just to be clear. And then this comment from Kenny is good. They're operating at a high level. Also, their profit margins are strong, driven, but own brands, and probably I think he's meant to say buy own brands, which have higher margins when you're talking about private label, and then
Mm-hmm.
also leaning into innovation. He's exactly right. He's
Yeah.
exactly right. They are very, and I think that's something that's really important. Is they're good operators. They execute very well in store. What you're talking about, the consistency, from a layout perspective, but then also when you look at in stock, when you look at just overall operational execution, they're doing very, very well. So that's kudos. I mean, double digit comps is nothing to sneeze at,
Huge.
and it's something that I'm sure you already starting to see. Like Rayleigh's, and now they're now doing their own innovation program. They announced that in the last month or so, I guess, or the last couple of weeks. There's people are taking notice, right? They're doing some things right and very well, and competition, whether directly or indirectly, are starting to say, "Geez, look at that," and they're going from that well. But from my background, understanding operations and having seen the limitations and how it impacts store performance, they're doing it the right way. So,
100%.
yeah, yeah,
Their selection's really good. The fluidity of it. The stores just feel really good when you go in there. There's
right.
something about the stores. And then also they have a lot of staff members. That's another thing that I notice. Like other stores, it's like sometimes hard to find someone. I need to find my Manuka honey or my Cascadian Farm cereal or my Perfect Bar. And like there's like someone around every corner with a green shirt, it seems there. So whatever they're doing, they've staffed up in the stores to make sure that the customers feel welcome. So, like you said, hats off to them. And then Luke
Oh,
stepped
yeah,
in and said,
who's
agreed.
they do
They do
operate
operate
well.
well.
And
So
then
I
this
agree with that.
this piggyback from Kenny, they learn how to run profitable stores through all the openings. What's impressive is their EBITDA results, including net income by region. So,
Mm.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Their sandwiches are really good too. And
I
they're
don't.
they're not to keep alonging this, but like, have you tried their sandwiches before?
I've not. I've not. The nearest one to me is in Greensboro, which I'm closer to Winston Salem, but I'm spoiled because there's a Lowe's Foods who I respect a lot in my area.
Right.
And
You're
it's
loyal.
literally I can walk there, and I do walk there. And it's 5 minutes from me, so I'm spoiled because if I want something quick, I go there. Sprouts, I have to kind of go out of my way to go to Greensboro, and if you've been on Interstate 40 going through Greensboro, sometimes it's defensive driving 101 because it's like a speedway. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I you'll probably get there once a month, give or take. Just because I have to be it's a destination. I usually do go into, to check and see some of our clients and things like that. But aside from that, it's just a little bit far for me. Whole Foods in Winston-Salem's a little bit closer. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but tell me about the sandwiches. I'm not familiar.
No, I mean they're just really good. And
Is there a go-to?
different.
Is there a particular one?
I mean, I do like the veggie kind of delight, whatever that one is, because I'm a vegetarian. But they have a good pastrami. They have a great turkey. I think their turkey is number one, like turkey with Swiss, with like a mayonnaise on it. But I think it's because they bake the bread fresh, from what I noticed. They have like little bakers in the back. It's a huge area of the store. I mean, it probably covers, I don't know, like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, like the sandwich kind of delicatessen area of the store. And there's always people, slicing the meat like right in front of you. And there's like three people, and there's always people to help you. Like there's never a huge line, which is great. The other thing I'll mention, and Kenny says their sushi sucks. I haven't tried their sushi, but we appreciate the honesty here on CPG Vibes. We love it. We love it. We're too honest these days, and that's a good thing. Is their private label? You said that really quickly, kind of in passing, Wade.
Right.
Their organic pizza is the best. Like I don't know who makes
this is frozen pizza.
Frozen. So there's Sprouts frozen pizza. They always have deals on it. It's usually like $7.99 instead of $9.99 because they can afford with their EBITDA to knock down the Sprouts price to get you to buy Sprouts versus a brand.
Right.
And we have tried Capello's, which is also good. We've tried like Blackbird, which is also good. But the Sprouts margarita, I don't eat meat, but let's say the margarita pizza or the veggie pizza, it like when you get frozen pizza, you sometimes no matter what brand, you open it and it's like doesn't even look like the picture at all. And there's like no toppings, right? There's no cheese, there's no toppings. There's basically like glorified bread with like little bits of stuff spotting like around the pizza. Their pizza is chock full, really well made, really well priced, and delicious. So it seems like Sprouts is now sponsoring our show here.
I was going to say, it looks like Derek agrees with you, so you're not alone in that. Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff. So Rayo's, but it's pretty unbeatable. Yeah. So
good.
I want to shift the subject because we're just rolling through this. And again, this is episode 176, just to reset the room, of CPG Vibes, quickly approaching 200. And this is a random Babble series, volume 3. I like these, Wade. They're fun. They're good.
Well, in the old days, Alex, we didn't have random Babble series. We just showed up and it was Friday Vibes or CP. We didn't have a series or, number 2, 3, 4. I give you a hard time about that because it's the Master Series, Expert Series, Shark Tank. I lose track of them. That's Alex's thing. But yeah, in the old days, we just showed up on Fridays and talked. But we're the random Babble number 3
or number 3.
Okay.
Soon to be 4.
I was going to say, if you go back to the old episodes, I could argue it's probably Random Babble number 156 or something, right? Yeah. So all right, so you're shifting it. What are we talking about now?
Shifting. Well, I want to also mention that on August 22nd, right? If we're going to talk about all the different series we have, we might as well promote what's coming up, right?
There you go.
We have the Expert Series, Volume 14. I'm kind of half laughing
14.
here. I think eventually, even though like the math can never work out, we'll have more Expert Series and number of episodes on CPG Vibes. Like somehow that's gonna fucking happen.
I'm glad you're keeping track of all this because I was gonna say, well, and actually August 22nd is when I'll be in California, so I might miss that one. So I'm glad you have someone there with you.
A lot of people.
Who's gonna be here? Who's gonna be here?
I don't know. No, there's going to be Harrison Burt with Start Engine. He is the director of the VP of fundraising. There's going to be Justin Renfro, who's also way up there. He's just way up there at WeFunders, like right below.
I was going to say, I recognize
right below the CEO. So that's Justin Renfro. And then I'm looking at the invites, actually. Let's pull up the calendar here. Who else are we inviting? Can you pull that up, Wade, faster than me?
Yeah, let me see if I can do that.
Quick draw. I got it here. So Haley Painterland Sisters. I'll let you do the honors. Who else?
Well, okay, hold on. I didn't. So this is 22nd, August 22nd. We are talking about in 3 weeks from today. Chris Lustrino with King's Crowd.
King's Crowd is the #1 third-party platform that reports crowdfunding statistics and data and support and resources. They are #1 in the world.
Okay,
King's
you
Crowd.
got Harrison Burt from Start Engine.
Director of fundraising.
Jeff, is it Coven or Coven?
Coven. So he is a longtime friend of mine that is a videographer for crowdfunding videos. He's a one of the top, I would say, in the country videographers that does the video that shows up in your crowdfunding page, and he's amazing at it.
And you got Haley from Painterland.
They raised over $1 million. They were our clients on WeFunder.
Justin with WeFunder. So my goodness gracious, this is a good thing I'm going to be on vacation because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests. Holy smokes! Wow.
Yep.
You're gonna, what you need to do for those episodes, Alex, is you need to have a timer up on the screen and only let them talk so much to go to the next one because I was going to say, how are you going to get everybody in there during that episode? That's gonna, and we're going to fit them on the screen.
I don't know. They're going to be so small I can't even see who they are. They're going to be like an ant.
Either that or do a first wave and a second wave. My goodness.
Well, there's actually a thing here on new on StreamYard that does this. So if the person is talking, it makes them big. I haven't worked it out yet.
You just have to find the room for the other 4 around there.
Yeah, well, I think what happens, there'll be 4 around here, and for those that are not
5, because there's 5. Wow.
So so it's going to be small squares, but then when someone else is talking, they shift to the big screen, and the other people are minimized to the small screen. That's probably whatever. I don't know. 5. When is that? Yes, timer. That's going to be August 22nd. So back on this bandwagon here. We have Spotlight Series Volume 3 on 8/29 with Mark Snacks. We have on 9/5 Expert Series Volume 15. Beating burnout.
I'm glad you're finding the humor in it because I think he's seeing. I give him a hard time about it. He's starting to realize 15, 16. So he's going to be like Super Bowl XVII or whatever it is. So,
start using Roman numerals here. Every time I go to a higher number, your face gets more ridiculous. That's what I love. Like your reaction. And then on 9/19, we have Expert Series Volume 16. Emerging natural brands.
Oh, wow.
So we have Master Series, which we just had Master Series number 8 last week. We have Spotlight Series, which is coming up with Volume 3. We have Expert Series, and now we have Random Babble Series Volume 3. And we have Buyer Spotlight Series Volume 2. That was back in June, which we need to do that again with Kenny and some others.
Right.
We have, what other series? We have the All Canada Show. I'm sure we're going to have a second one for that. When did this actually start? All these like series stuff.
I have no idea.
And Outside the Tank, Volume 4 we had last year, but we haven't had another one. It's actually kind of hard to find CPG brands that appeared on Shark Tank because I went through the ones that they respond to me.
Right.
Then there's a bunch of them that just don't respond, and we're like, I write in the email subject to them or LinkedIn subject line. #1 CPG podcast in the world. Do you want to be on the show? 0 response. 0. Not even like, and then like my friend request, my connection request is pending with them. So they really just must not like being on podcasts or something. I don't know. I don't feel rejected. I don't feel rejected, but you do feel a little sad when they don't respond.
Hey,
right?
there's a good one. I want to tell you. I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you. But no, I want to talk about that. But I'm going to let you answer Melissa's question because she has a question about who qualifies to be invited as a guest or sponsor. Well, sponsors are paid, so you have to pay to be on. So that's you just have to
CPGVibes100@gmail.com.
Yeah, but as far as inviting you as a guest, Alex, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, a guest, it is a case-by-case basis. We see how it fits in. It's such a kind of complicated answer. We have to see where he can fit into one of our shows because if it's a show
series,
like which series,
yes.
Which there's 20 of them at this point. And we have to get you in the right one and also the right chemistry with the other guests where there's complementary stuff going on because we do have guests that are booked out for the next 3 to 4 months, right? And so like 2-3 months. And so we have to like match up the right people, the right chemistry. And then also we do have a somewhat now harder requirement where you need to have 2,000 or more followers and connections combined on LinkedIn. Because when we're going on live, we want to get publicity. Again, we're not sugarcoating anything here, Wade, right?
Right.
We want to get more publicity, more people, more eyeballs on the show. And by you having more followers and connections on your LinkedIn, that in turn helps us while we're helping you when you're on our show.
Derek says you require 2Ks free fill.
Yes, that too. Yeah, and make sure not to send it on the weekends if it's perishable to me or Wade.
Exactly. No, kidding aside, I think there's two things that I want to say here. One, I think this one would be a demo. Derek's a demo person, and there's other large scale demo companies out there. I think that one could be fun, talking about the demos, and that could be a good one. And then kidding aside as well, even though it's Jeff, but branding, marketing, like we've had Adam Brown on before, but of course Jeff and Peter would be great to have on.
Sure.
But centered around marketing, branding, that thing, I think that could be a good one. And yeah, this is like Coke and Pepsi here, Jeff. That he asked that I get less free stuff than him, so that's 10K slotting. Oh geez, yeah, we're going off the rails now.
I think we could do a slotting fee, like it's called the Vibage fee.
There you go,
something like that.
There you go. Yeah,
slotting.
Yeah.
We're slotting you in our schedule, so it's a slotting fee.
I like it. I like it. But no, I like that idea of the demos. I think that one could be a lot of fun, and I think the marketing ones could be fun too. So we just have to see how many series we can get. But
hey, we already have 7. Why don't it's kind of like the tariffs. There's already a bunch of them. Just add more, right?
There you go.
So he did say, someone said about broker series. So we did have a kind of legacy series called Brands, Brokers, Buyers. Say that 10 times.
The 3 Bs, right?
And Bear, and I guess what's your nickname? It has to start with a B. I'm Bear.
Beautiful, bald,
beautiful, beautiful, and bald.
Both, yeah.
Oh man, this is a fun show today. So that Brand, Broker, Buyer series turned into, what do you think? An expert series. We merged it.
Right.
So Wade's favorite, expert series, volume 329.
That was it. That original one was a good one though, because we had my goodness, we had Rachel Robb from
I remember that.
Yeah, she was on. I can't remember. Oh, I think my buddy Jim Clapp was, I think, on that original one.
John Foraker, I think, was on one too.
I can't remember
like an early one.
I can't remember who the brand was, that original episode, but that was a good show. I'm
actually looking at the spreadsheet going back to episode there we go. Expert series volume 3, Brands, Brokers, Buyers, back on July 26, 2024. Darren Viscount, who recently left Bristol Farms, Jeff Church.
That wasn't the original. That wasn't the original.
That was number 3.
Okay.
And then number 1, we had one. You know what the first expert series was?
I don't.
You're not going to believe this one. This one's hilarious.
Okay.
AI technology. That was the first expert series, and it had the Terminator cover that had like people's faces, like half their flesh was off.
I remember that
with a red eye. Yeah,
I do remember the artwork.
Yeah. So outside the Tank Volume 1, I'm trying to find. Wow, the very first Master series we had, going back in the time, kind of the DeLorean. John Foraker, Chris Hunter, Rachel Robb, and Nick Mendel.
That was a good one.
That was the one that we actually broke the internet.
I
remember that one. That's the one we had 160 people on live because it was our first big series. And we couldn't hear anything for like 10 minutes. So
crazy.
Go back to that episode if you want to get some laughs, episode 110. I want to pivot to kind of one thing as I'm checking my phone, which is really very ironic. I know we only have 6 or 7 minutes here, but phone usage and screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your screen time report turned on your phone?
Wait. If I do, I don't pay a lot. No, I mean,
you're like, you'll be disturbed while you find out.
Well, no, I don't know if I do, but I would say it's probably down a little bit, mainly because I obviously work from home. I have a Mac, and so I don't need to use my phone as much because I can respond to my texts on my computer, and I'm Zooming and whatnot all day. So I don't really have to use it as much as, when I didn't work from home and I was on the go, I was constantly, answering texts and things like that. But no, I don't have. So are you going to tell me that what your percent is, or how many hours a day, or what?
So my hours per day, again, like it's an interesting thing to track, even if you're on your computer more so than your phone. And this is a little misleading because when I'm in the car doing my sales routes for Feel Free or for other stuff that we sell with Genius Dreams, I have on my phone where it's there's no lock. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? The screen doesn't lock; it just stays open like this, showing my beautiful son there. And so when I have podcasts open or audiobooks, which I do a lot of when I'm
Right.
driving, it
Does that
just
count? Does
the
that
screen
count?
it counts towards it, but
Okay.
I would say maybe that's about 5 to 6 hours a day of just that because it's just laying there.
Right.
But I still spend a good, let's call it 6 to 7 hours on the phone
Hmm.
because my screen time is at 12 hours a day, 12 to 13
Wow.
hours. And no wonder they make these battery lives longer, right? And by the way, that's actually low for like the average is 15 to 16 hours. Like literally from
Really?
when you wake up to when you go to sleep, and then the average I would say like 14, 13 to 14 is average, I would say. Like people on their phones, social media, phone calls, texting, internet, podcasting, but they're like actively looking at the phone. And there's also another stat that you're going to find really disturbing as you're looking at your phone right now.
Yeah, I was gonna look.
So,
I just pulled mine up so I can tell you what I have. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's the Irony series show. So, that the amount of time that someone even looks at your phone, looks at their phone, I should say, every 12 minutes on
Hmm.
average. So you go from having in your pocket to checking it. And the one thing that I notice, which is also a problem, is in public, especially younger people. When I say younger, 20s, teens, they're just on their phones all the time. And so, like, my son is only 3, so he doesn't obviously have a phone. But I'll say it this way, that he's not going to have a phone for a while. And even when he does, it's going to be very, very limited
Right.
because I think it has a real negative effect. I think it's not, I think, I know it has a real negative effect
Hmm.
on mental health, on focus, on happiness, immediate gratification, on dopamine that, when someone likes your post. And we all have that and we all use it, right? The big thing is limiting that use so it doesn't, um, it doesn't derail your day and also derail just how you feel as a person. And you can focus on what's in front of you versus what's down on your screen. So, too much screen time, I think, is affecting a lot of mental health. It's affecting a lot of people's mental health in this country. And if you just go out there, right, go into public, right, go to a store, go to a Whole Foods, go to a
Hmm.
Sprouts, go to a Starbucks, go to a Trader Joe's, go to Marshall's, half the people are just looking down on their phones when they're bored. They're not even doing anything. Like I like to use my phone for business. I do text and have some, fun for 30 minutes and, get my mind off things, right? Kind of a break. But I'm typically using my phone for business, for answering for orders, looking up an order, looking up an email, and also checking email too much to make sure there's no unread emails. That's a big kind of habit and addiction that a lot of people have. But I think this has gone way, 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 way too far on the level of addiction for people using their phones, especially when people are using it for non-productive purposes, just to kill time, or they don't want to talk with someone else, they want to be antisocial. I think it's a big problem, and we need to address that. And I don't know how we can because you can't stop people from using phones. So
Yeah. Well, I think, I would say that I'm doing pretty well based on what you said, or at least your numbers, because uh I show my average time here is, let's see, where's it at for the week? Is just over 7 hours, like 7 hours and 5 minutes. And of that, it's at least an hour a day on podcast, because during my morning walk, I take a 3+ mile walk, and I have a podcast on the whole time. So if you're
but
saying that,
does that count if your screen is off though? Because it's in your pocket, right?
oh, well, I thought you said, I'm sorry, I thought you said it did. I thought you said it did.
I think if you have a audio on and then you turn the screen off, I believe it does not count towards that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, but no, and I don't know. It seems like there's some things here that are running in the background or something, because there's no way, you know, some of these numbers are accurate, because it's not possible, as far as some of the time, because it shows Apple News, for example, for like 27 minutes, and I definitely wasn't on Apple News for 26. So it's either running in the background or something's pushing that number up. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything you said. I think, my wife and I have talked many times about the use of with children, starting earlier and earlier with phones, and and I think, taking a step further, Alex, many people in your situation, with a young child, it's very common to see not necessarily a phone, but a tablet. You can go buy a cheap Google tablet, or whatever tablet, for less than $100, and they give that to the kid to keep them occupied when they're out. In the old days, when we walked uphill both ways, I think that was in the chat earlier.
Mhm.
You had cars, and you had different things that children were keeping occupied with, or playing with. And now it's just like, well, hand them headphones and a tablet, and just let them play, and you just ignore them, and that's, you see, actually, yeah, Rich just said go to restaurants, actually disgusting to watch all the families, and everyone is
Mhm.
sitting watching their phones.
100%.
So,
100%.
but yeah, it's more of a, it's a, that's their pacifier. I don't know if that's the right word, but it is, as far as that goes. So, and younger. I mean, it's very, to see a toddler in a high chair with that, it's kind of alarming, as far as that
It's
goes.
sad
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like there's also the electromagnetic radiation, not to get too deep into this, but a child's head is more sensitive. Everyone's sensitive to it, but not as much as you get older. But a child's brain, which is still developing, if they're holding a device which is getting Wi-Fi or connection, which it almost always is, right, for
Right.
YouTube or for videos, that is undoubtedly affecting their head in some way, slowly over
Yeah.
time. Again, there's research on it. I won't get into it into this type of format or show, but it's not a good thing to have a radiating cell phone or tablet near your child's head. Now, do we ever do it? A lot of parents do, for one simple reason, because we get tired.
Right.
We get really tired. You're taking care of them all day, and you come home from work and you're like, damn, I just want to get a break. And he's all over me. He's
Right.
hugging me, he's laughing with me, he's playing with me. And yes, I want to play with my son. I love him and I want to spend time with him. But if you want to get 10 minutes to yourself to change or to take a shower or eat something, like, and they're clamoring for attention, you just say, oh, here's a Miss Rachel video, here's a
Right.
Blippy video.
Right.
And so I'm trying to get him to do it on the TV at least versus on a tablet, so that
Right.
at home he's watching the TV. But we limit his TV to about 30 minutes a day. But then at night, if he can't sleep, I'm watching TV. He comes out and sits next to me, right?
Right.
Now he's watching. So to kind of wrap it all up, because I know we're over time, this needs to change some way, somehow. It all starts with us. And it starts with us controlling our habits and our, addiction. And it's an addiction. It's an
Mm.
addiction. And people are addicted to this thing because of
Well,
how much it can do. So
I don't disagree with anything you said. The one thing I would say that I don't think, unless, while I was trying to find my screen time there, that I don't think you touched on, that just it doesn't cease to amaze me, is the use of it in cars while driving.
it's the
That,
worst.
and whether it's and the thing that bothers me more, first of all, it's absolutely life threatening,
Yeah.
to the person doing it, as well as everyone else that's on the road. But the bigger thing is in this day and age, with Siri and Alexa and all the AI and all the, you can talk and just do what you need to do without having the phone up. But I mean, you can't drive anywhere without seeing someone doing this. And it doesn't matter. There's laws that have been passed, that it's illegal, that they'll be fined, and, hands free and all this stuff. But I challenge you to go be on the road for half an hour, 45 minutes, and not see someone actively driving and doing that. And
Mhm.
that, it's terrifying, because, I'll be on a highway, 70 miles plus an hour, and you see this car going left to center, right to center, and all over the place. and I'm like, yep, they're on their phone. You know, it's just absolutely terrifying. It really is. And you know, it fully engaged with a text or something, and it's like just use Siri and tell her what to say, or
Yeah.
him, whatever. You know, I mean, it's just, I don't understand that. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It could also, through CarPlay or through Tesla, through Bluetooth, it can display on the screen
Yeah,
the
or
text,
it
like
audibly
the big
reads it.
screen.
It audibly reads it.
That too.
You
Yeah.
can speak out loud and have it entered. You don't need to do it yourself. Just have it do it for you. You know, and like I said, in today's with between Bluetooth and just that feature, you know,
Hmm.
I could do it right now, and you know, and without having to pick up the phone. I don't understand it. That's the part that to me is that has to change. And I'm actually kind of surprised they haven't. You know, like with a Tesla, when you're driving, you can't watch Netflix. When you're parked, you can, but if you're driving, you can't. I'm surprised they haven't activated something with phones that once you're above a certain speed limit, that something shuts down. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just something so that it's not, you can't enter. I feel like at some point maybe something like that might happen, but I don't know. People probably figure a way around it.
Yeah. It's a whole other show. I think it's going to go into our driving series. It's going to be a
There you
new
go.
series
I
for
like
us.
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
No texting while driving. But I will say this, because I know we're over time, is I drive up to 7, 8 hours a day sometimes because I do the feel free stuff. We distribute other items, on in our cars. I have a couple people that work with us, couple partners, and I see it all the time. Um, and I think, not to blow anyone's mind too much here, I think, my opinion, in 10 to 15, 20 years, it's going to be many, many cars that are not even going to be driven by people anymore. It's going to
Yeah.
go eventually the Waymo, Uber, robotaxi route, because if eventually every car or a majority of cars can be automated or AI driven, traffic will be way less,
It
because the reason that traffic happens is people that are on their phones, or an accident from user error, or
Yep.
someone cutting someone off, or someone that's in the fast lane that's driving slow, someone swerving and cutting people off. Like, all those things would be eliminated, or majority. Plus, wait, almost no deaths on the road either from automated cars.
Right. Well, you know, and I also have a Tesla. I don't have ongoing full
Self-driving.
I
Me
don't.
neither. Me neither.
But I love the feature that you can subscribe to it a month at a time. And over the last month, I knew I was going back to Ohio. Last weekend, I knew I was going to Washington. So I did pay for it in the month of July, and it truly is. I'm not going to say it's a better driver than I am, but I mean, I was thinking a similar thing, that if these people that I'm defensive driving around would have it would be a much safer place. And
100%.
I don't know if you've got the update, or if your car, I think yours is a little bit older than mine, but I the latest update that I just got this week has AI, the Grok AI, which is Elon's X's AI, you know, the equivalent of ChatGPT and Gemini and all these different things, is now in the car. And so I haven't got to use it yet, but I'm anxious to see what it does, what it can do, what it can't do while driving. But the AI app is now on included on
That's
my
cool.
screen. So
I'll
yeah,
check it out. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I have a,
You
as you
have to have a
know.
certain. There's a certain. I don't know. It's like I forget what it is, whether it's a processor or something. And so I think
Okay.
if it's not in the last couple of years, you might not have
Yeah,
the
I didn't see
ability.
it.
But
I
yeah, it's
didn't.
like
Yeah.
the latest update. I just got it. I think
Okay.
Wednesday.
Maybe
So
I'll try updating my car. I know that I have two Teslas. I got the first one when it was only $42,000, believe it or not, a Model
mhm.
Y, back in 2021, before
Right.
everything inflated. I know that one doesn't have Grog. I have another one, a Model 3, which is 2023, but I didn't
Yep.
see it in the update. One thing I think that you probably have used is the auto drive.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And what I love about the auto drive, again, this is the free one that comes with Tesla. Undoubtedly, at some point, like if I have to find something, or I get a phone call, and I again, I try not to do it, but if I need to look down, or if I'm eating, and that's another thing. If I'm eating, I want to use two hands for a second. The auto drive is great for freeways,
Mhm.
and wide roads. And if you they have a camera above the rearview mirror, right? As I'm sure you've noticed.
Yep.
Which can be used also to look at the inside of your cabin when you're parked, in case, so you can like check to make sure no one's breaking into your car. Anyway, this camera above the rearview mirror above tracks your eye movements and your face movements. So it's AI, it's true AI. So if you're on auto drive and you're driving and you go like this, even for about 2 or 3 seconds, it starts beeping at you and says, look at the road, move the wheel, show us that you're still driving. And if you do it 3 times, it goes, did it, and it shuts off the auto drive and it says you've received a strike, right? And if you receive 3 strikes, I think it's 3, you're out.
I think you're right. I
think you're out, and you cannot use auto drive for an entire month, or self-driving. You're banned from self-driving because of unsafe driving. So it's pretty, I mean, the way around that is to wear sunglasses, right? So they can't see your eye movements going down. But if your head goes like this and moves down, they also track that as well. And then, like, I've seen people try to block the camera for Tesla, with like a napkin or with a piece of tape or whatever. And if you block it, within about 10 seconds, it starts beeping at you saying like, remove the blockage on the camera, or else we're going to shut down all your auto driving. So I like where Tesla's going with that. Ultimately, it's saving lives because, man, I mean, I'm in LA. That's not as, I know it's crazier probably than where you're at, and you remember from being out here, San Diego's crazy. People are nuts out there. And unfortunately, the younger drivers, I mean, it could be older. The younger drivers, I mean, they're always on their phone, and it's really dangerous. And they could run into a family, another person, and just from a stupid text or looking at their fucking TikTok or whatever,
right,
they're going to kill someone. It's a death machine. So it's really upsetting, but and I don't think the rules, I know, are over, but the laws are not strict enough, Wade.
No.
I think it should be first offense, $10,000. Second offense, your license is revoked for like a year or 2 years. Like, it should be that serious. And no one would, if that was the case, no one would be doing it. Trust me.
It's got to change. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, this was truly a random babble. So a lot of fun. Have a wonderful weekend, Wade. Enjoy
you as well.
Whatever you're doing. And we'll catch you all next week. And next week, just to tell you whatever we have going on here, I think it's going to be just a normal show. Let me see. Yep, it's going to be a normal show. Wait a minute.
What is normal?
Normal is, well, there's never a normal show.
Okay.
But it's just going to be me and you.
Okay.
Because I flipped that around. And me and you. And we're going to come up with a topic next week. So
sounds good. Well, and I'd remind everyone to also tune in on Wednesdays for myself and Luke Abbott on CPG Office Hours. That's we do a quick half hour, rapid fire, community driven, and that's 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern. So tune in for that as well, and catch Alex and I here next week at our normal time, right? 3 p.m. or 12 p.m., 3 p.m.
That's
Eastern. All right.
That's it.
Awesome.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.